Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mind Your Business Monday. I pray you all have had a wonderful week. This has been a very productive week for me. And I'm just looking forward to just grabbing this week by the horns and making it be yet another amazing week. So I'm your host, Arletha. Thank you for joining us on Mind Your Business Monday, which is sponsored by On Point Alliance. We provide identity related solutions through a diversified scope of services, with fingerprinting and background screening being our primary service. To learn more, scan the barcode at the top of the screen or go to the link in our description. So, Mind Your Business Monday is designed to assist you with tackling the week like a boss. Every Monday, here with us on Mind Your Business Monday, a compass for entrepreneurial growth. So, you can level up your skills by learning from entrepreneurs who have been there and done that, and you can draw from their wisdom on both personal and professional leadership development. So, whether you're just starting out or you are, just now getting established or already a player in the field, this is a compass for you. So again, please go and like, share, and subscribe to all of our social media platforms, and don't forget to click the notification bell. So as you all can tell, I'm rolling solo today. So, when I'm by myself, we just jump right in. I have a wonderful host. You guys have seen her before. Many of you were asking about her, and she's back to hit us with some more valuable nuggets that's going to change your life. Already, this information that we're going to talk about today has impacted my business dramatically. So, today we have revenue strategist and business model designer Kadena Tate. So she's going to share with us insights on harnessing the power of Chat GPT to revolutionize small businesses in this competitive subscription landscape. So, Kadena, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for taking time to be with us today. I just
Thank
want,
you.
yes, I'm so excited. And then we got some goodies to share with you all at the end of the broadcast, because she got some juicy coming up, so you guys won't have to miss out. Okay, so Kadena, if you would just tell everybody a little more about you, what you do. I call her a ninja. She's a ninja. And how you are just helping small business owners kick down barriers.
So, like you did in the introduction, you said I'm a revenue strategist and a business model designer. I've always been fascinated by how do you productize your gifts, talents, strengths, and abilities. I've just always been fascinated by that. So, literally, I like to package that into products, services, experiences, and so on. So, I'm excited to be here. Number one, because I like to see growth and expansion. And then number two, I think it's important that we get on the cutting edge and we start to respond instead of react to the rapid pace of change. Because, the business environment is like a shifting landscape, stuff is always happening. And I wanted to have this chat GPT conversation because so many people are like, it's us against the machines. I don't trust it. I'm like, listen, you better get in where you fit in and learn because it's not going anywhere. This is like the worst it's going to ever be. And if you don't know how to use it, quite frankly, if you're not learning right now, you're already behind. So your exit strategy will be an unplanned strategy. You will go out of business because you have generative AI and machine learning, all virtual reality, robotics. You have all these different tools that you can use to grow your business and to support your clients. So we want to just have a little conversation about that.
All right, look, let's get it. Let's
Yes,
go.
yes, yes.
So Kadena, how can small business owners leverage the power of Chat GTP to enhance their customer experience and differentiate themselves in this competitive subscription landscape?
So the first thing that I think that we really need to recognize is that we're small business. So small business, you don't have a lot of employees. So I like to look at ChatGPT like my administrative assistant in different forms because I really want to lay out, my SOPs, right? Standard operating procedures. I want to look at what are my operational processes and systems. I want to look at what are the personalized interactions that I'm going to have with the customer, like customer service emails, customer service communication, HR type stuff, frequently ask questions. I want to fine tune my brand voice. I literally want to look at how can I support my client with having a better understanding of what they need so that I can tailor the experience. So I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. So before generative AI, you had to do a lot of market research on your own, which might take weeks or months just to discover who's your buyer, right? Who is my buyer? What do they want? What do they need? What are they struggling with? What are their hopes, dreams, and aspirations? You had to do massive amounts of research and it took time. And now, with the click of a few questions and a button, you can have that information in minutes. So
Wow.
I think that it's really key that we understand that you're only going to get out of it what you put into it. So relevance is key, right? You still have to know your craft. So this whole thing about the machines taking over, that's not real because the reality of it is you have to actually input the data into ChatGPT to get what you want. The other thing is you can offer 24/7 support, right? You'll see these little chat bots on websites. A lot of people don't realize you're not talking to a person. What people have done is on the back end of what you're looking at as a chat box is they've loaded in the frequently asked questions so that way they can provide customer service 24/7, 365. The other thing that I think is really important when we start looking at how do we hold on to a customer? Like how do we serve them and how do we engage in customer retention? I don't think people realize that to have simple questions answered in seconds is better than somebody having to wait the whole weekend. So you can literally take all these different inquiries, right?
Yeah.
Put all of that on the back end like an API, and it's going to pop out an answer. Your people are happy, and so on. The other thing that I think is, and this can be, I mean, it can be scary, so you have to be responsible, is, you want to understand customer behavior. Like, what did the buyer buy? So, for example, if I'm a person who's traditionally buying this,
Hmm.
right, and you have massive quantities of information, the computer can look at all of that data, analyze the past interactions, and literally anticipate, hey, this is, what they need next. So you're kind of proactively addressing the needs of customers. I hope that helps.
Oh, wow. Yes, that was very informative and gave some insight because you helped me understand I don't have to have a whole team of people and budgets and funding, like going crazy about what I can't do when I
Exactly.
have 12 new employees just with ChatGPT,
Yes.
So,
You're
yeah,
giving away my secrets, Arletha, but yes, exactly.
look, listen, I had you snatched my life right together. So,
Okay, we got to tell them what that means, right?
uh,
So since you said it, so when I said at the beginning, that you're a small business, right? So you might need web designer, graphic designer, instructional designer, behavioral analyst, business growth strategist, revenue strategist, business model designer. You might need what else? What's another position? A coder. Like you have all these positions that are at jobs, and you literally can type into Chat GPT, what. So remember, with Chat GPT, what you put in is what you got to focus on the outcome. So who has the answer to your question? So you're focusing the question to a specific role, giving it a responsibility, and you're asking it a question to fulfill. Okay,
mm,
and that's how you know literally go from a team of two or three to a team of 20 or 30.
look, I even get legal advice. I need a letter typed up. Boom. What should it
Exactly.
say?
Right? It's like, how do I say this in a professional way?
Right, right, okay.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. I
what
love it.
what are some practical examples of how ChatGTP can be integrated into small business to provide personalized and seamless interactions with customers? You kind of hit on it a little bit.
Yes, exactly.
We kind of went a little, but
Well, but
it's
you know what? Even though we hit on it, right? I want to like highlight a couple of things
okay.
because, and I think that virtual assistants are really important and really key. And I also think that sometimes we as small business owners, we can be impatient. We can be impatient, like I need something yesterday, and we're dealing with humans. So I feel like if you have a e-commerce platform, you know, um, as a virtual assistant, literally like I said earlier, you can set it up to where it engages in real-time conversations with your chatbot. You have a course, right? They're asking different questions. You can load the information in so that they can get product recommendations. They can compare offers. Um, and the different, like say you have a course or a what do you call it, group coaching program, right, individual coaching program, right, something like this, and you want them to decide between options. Literally you can load all of that information in, and it will present a personalized offer based upon what the person is communicating. You can set up quizzes that then focus the person right down to their preferences, so it feels like a real personalized and customized experience. Also, order tracking and updates. You see how we get the messages, on our cell phones, and we also get the message in the computer. We get the message via email. That's generative AI and machine learning, and it shows you basically it's order management. I call it an order management system. I don't know if that's the professional term, but you want people to have real time updates on their orders so they can track them. These things have been in use. I need people to know they've been in use for a very, very long time. It's just it's more sophisticated. That's why I'm saying that it's the worst it's going to ever be. It's getting better and better. Or like when you go to like one of my favorite sites, 1-800-Flowers, and you get personalized recommendations. So it's like you literally can look at their um, purchase history, their browsing behavior, and their preferences, and the chatbot can suggest things that are complementary. That's why, like, when you begin to look at upsells, cross sells, and down sells, this becomes really key. And then finally, I would say, because I don't want to just go into all the things, I can't emphasize enough customer support. I think that so many people, you know, um, do not understand that people get triggered, you know what I'm saying, and people are angry and they get all worked up and then they curse you out and you lose business, whereas you can train your chatbot, right, literally to focus on relevant responses without all of the energy and the emotion, and that kind of frees up your human agents time so they can deal with more complex issues. So that's what I would say.
Awesome. And this is why your course is so necessary, because prior to you really getting me on track with how
Mhm.
to really utilize and capitalize on ChatGTP. I went there trying to fumble around and ask certain questions, but it is a certain way, depending on what you're trying to pour out, that you position the question to get the best results. And
Exactly.
if you don't have a clue and you just leave out certain pieces of information, you're not really going to fully see the beauty of chat gtp. So I think just this time and what you're offering is so on time and necessary. We're coming up on the end of the year, a lot of us trying to close off third and fourth quarter strong, and this here just fast tracked.
Oh, absolutely. I want to piggyback off of something that you said. I do think that we have to use these tools, right, with ethical and responsible behavior. And I also think that there's nothing that can ever fully replace human creativity simply because of the breadth and the depth of our emotions. So I think what a lot of people don't understand when we're talking about data analysis and insights, quite frankly, if you had to do massive amounts of research, let's just say you had, like Malcolm Gladwell talks about 10,000 hours. There's still, you can do massive research, you can have an experience for 10,000 hours and still only touch the tip of the iceberg, right? Whereas you can go into ChatGPT. So I'll use a quick example of something that I did that Arletha is giving voice to so that you'll understand, right? So yeah, we can look at simple buyer demographics and we can look at psychographics, right? But when you get into, say, the buyer empathy map, what does the person see, hear, touch, feel? What's going on in their world so that you can meet them where they are? This is where ChatGPT is the game changer. So I have typed in questions that let me know what are the negative situations that people find themselves in that they don't necessarily discuss with you, but it's on their mind. Just because then how do we say this? People don't tell you a lot of stuff, but they're worried about it, right? You've heard people say, what's keeping your buyer up in the middle of the night? Very rarely are people going to tell you that because we live in a society that's so judgmental. So when you type in, identify the negative situational statements that this particular persona is going through, and you get to see like what's going on in their life, then you have to sit back and say, how can I support that person with that? And now you can then go in, say, for example, and be a buyer psychologist, right? A person who so specializes in buyer behavior. And you can basically say, like, what's the best approach and what tools can I create to support this person, right? So that they can achieve or accomplish a goal or solve a challenge or a problem. So I feel like one of the things that struggle with what you said is they get all caught up in the prompts, but it's beyond the prompts. I just want to be really transparent. Nobody reads your mind, not humans or computers. So it's not just the prompt, it's you being an expert in your craft and in your field and thinking a certain way as an entrepreneur to ask questions that are going to guide ChatGPT to produce an answer that's going to support you in helping your people, right? Does that
Mm.
support you?
Oh, absolutely. Now, I actually took the time to look into, there's different resources out there, but yours, and I'm not just saying this because you're Kadena and, I'm being a little biased. However, you just have a way with navigating through ChatGTP. Could you explain what do you think as your expertise in revenue strategy and business model design that's giving you that edge that that's separating your program from a lot of this other stuff out there?
That's really wild because I just alluded to it. And somebody told me years ago, right? You need to teach a class on teaching people to think like you think. And I was like, nah, that's not what I want to do. I don't want people to think like I think because I believe in sovereignty and keeping people like holding on to their power, not me taking it from them. But what I realize is a lot of people, especially business owners, they lack critical thinking skills as it specifically relates to how do I iterate my business model so that it is of the highest and best use for the customer. So, case in point, we start out with who's our buyer. So, a lot of people just stop with that. Well, somebody that likes to buy cute dresses. Why are they buying a dress? Are they going to a wedding? Are they going to a funeral? Are they going on their first date? Right? Are they going on a job interview? Is it their first day at work? Why are they buying the dress? Like we got to go deeper. We have to go deeper so that then we know, right? And then when we understand the why people buy, and then you have to check your own motives. Why are you selling them the thing? Do you know? Like, are you selling them the things so that they can be beholden to you, so that you can hold it over their head? You know, I made that dress. You wouldn't even have looked good, right, if I wouldn't have made it for you. It's like we have so much ego that it's just like incredible. You know, we want, like, when we look at clothes, for example, labels all over the clothes, like, and there's a time and a place for all things, right? But our egos are so fragile. So I'm always looking at who's my buyer, and who's my buyer behind closed doors, and where are they? And you want to be able, for example, to create content. Let's just say a social media campaign, for example. You want to be able to create content that meets them where you are. Well, they're not going to tell you where they are. So if you lay down a buyer persona, then you have to lay on top of that. So, for example, I say to people, nobody's sitting around waiting on you to sell your stuff. That's not what's happening. People are just living their life, right? And they're faced with different challenges. So let me use my own business because I don't want to go into an abstract point. So clients come to me because they've hit a ceiling in their growth. They're like, listen, I've done all this different stuff. I'm like, I'm sky high with credit card debt, personal credit, right? I just probably found out about business credit, and I'm maxed out there too. And I need to grow, I need to hire more support, right? But I'm not exactly sure what's my growth opportunity. What's the new product, or the new service, or the new market, or the new geographical location? What should I be doing next, and how can I do that with the resources that I have, right? Because I'm tapped out. So when they come, they're trying to figure out how to iterate their business model. You know, that's what they're coming for, right? So that requires strategic thinking, and it requires critical thinking. And I can't be sitting back like, well, you know, did you market online? Well, did you market offline? Like, you know, what you've been doing? You don't, you know, what's your 401k looking like? And you know what I mean? Like all the little things that we do to try to make people feel this
Yeah.
small. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like we have to ask deeper questions, because sometimes this is what I notice when people say, I need to do this, like I need to have, so for example, I'll meet people who come to me and they say, you know, "Oh, I need to write a book, right? This is like, I need to write a book." And I'm like, well, why are you writing the book? Well, because somebody else told me that when you write a book, you make more money as a speaker. Okay. So if that's the case, the book that you're writing, is that book a foundational aspect of your brand? And they're like, no, I was just going to write a book so I can make more money. Well, it kind of doesn't work like that.
Mhm.
Because after you write this book, what's the next book? Right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is the next book going to build on top of this book, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division? Is it going to do that? Or are you going to write a book over here and then turn around and write some random thing going in a totally different direction? And now you leave me stranded. Because what if I read your book and I applied what you had to say and I'm ready for the next phase, and
Right.
you've abandoned ship and you all the way, you know, running down the street, jumping on the merry-go-round, you know? So we don't think about what's going to foster connection, community, advocacy, loyalty. I just think that we've got to do a better job of identifying who's our customer, where are they in their life, what's the best time for me to step in and extend my hand to say I can support you with that, right? Not step into people's life and then come down from on high to down low, like I know better than you how to fix your life, like that. This is not that. This
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. So, are there any specific industries or niches where ChatGPT can be particularly beneficial for small business owners? And if so, could you give us some examples?
Absolutely. So earlier I mentioned e-commerce and retail,
Hmm.
because those people are looking at personalized product recommendations. They're looking at, you know, customer inquiries. They're looking at the need for real-time customer assistance during the purchase journey, right? Because what you want to do is they want to drive conversions and boost sales, right? When you look at hospitality and travel, kind of the same thing. How are you going to handle booking inquiries? How are you going to provide travel recommendations? I come from the travel industry. This is how I know this, right? I spent 20 years working for an international airline. So when you want to offer information about amenities and services and you want to help with itinerary planning, all of these things can be streamlined into your customer experience so that you stand out from somebody who does something similar to you. Also, I just helped a woman who's in the health and wellness industry. One of the things that she said to me is, I didn't even realize that I could set up virtual consultations, that I can answer these commonly asked health questions. Like you notice, it's all over the media that people were putting questions that they asked their doctor in the ChatGPT and they were getting a more robust answer. Now, ChatGPT is not a doctor, nor is it an attorney. However, I put in a meal plan because I'm trying to lose weight. So I wanted a fitness plan. I wanted dietary recommendations. I wanted, hey, this is my goal. This is where I am. This is what I'm trying to do. You are a certified and licensed nutritionist. And it gave me a whole wellness plan. Right. So, it's across the board. I also think if you're in financial services, it's like we have all financial literacy. This is not something that's taught in school. People don't know. So, you have all these questions about banking and insurance and real estate and financial planning. You can ask questions so that you understand the complexities behind it. And you can even say stuff to ChatGPT, like explain mutual funds in the simplest of terms and it will break it down for you, right? So that to me is going to improve customer satisfaction. Also, obviously, the big one is technology and software. You've heard that it's changing the landscape for people who are coders, right? It's changing for technical support, obviously on a baby level, right? Because like I said earlier, we will never be replaced because there's a level of complexity with the human emotion, the way the mind works, and the nuance. Yes, but you can provide technical support. You can troubleshoot common issues. You can like support a customer as they move through the product implementation and usage, right? So, like for example, like we use Canva, you know, or you use Asana, or you use what's that? Educate Thinkific, right? Or Kajabi, all of them have woven into their technological platform, a measure of AI and machine learning. We can do the same. And then the very last group, of course, is education and e learning. Now more than ever, people are wanting instant, everything is instant, like oatmeal, right? They want instant feedback on their assignments, or when people take a quiz they want to know right then and there what's the answer. They want to know the answer to my question now, right now, because everybody's impatient, right? And you can literally like I've created a list of learning resources, and I also think that it's important for fostering like engagement in terms of like social media stuff like that. You can create your entire marketing campaign, both inbound and outbound, your ads, like I said at the very beginning of the call, all of your customer service, anything administrative, HR, customer service. This is to me, that's what's going to save you time, money, energy, and resources.
One I guess industry, I don't know if we want to call it industry, but I know a lot of ladies who sell paparazzi jewelry, and you see them all doing the same things, and there are so many creative ways to set yourself apart, and you're not just going live and showing the jewelry, and and it just makes me think about just those subscription options, and being, just all the different ways that you can utilize ChatGTP to get new clients, those email campaigns. And we tend to measure ourselves by what other people are doing, and it look like they're bigger, it look like they have more, they seem more articulate. We're looking at their hair, we're looking at how they sound. Or, I don't talk like that. Well, I don't know. Honey, some of these people just figured it out.
Well, you know what one of my girlfriends said to me, and I laughed so hard because she said to me, now everybody gets to be smart. That's why they're all mad and want to take it away because ChatGPT just leveled the playing field. There's no excuse for people to be
Yeah,
dumb. I was cracking up. I said, you're hilarious. Nobody was ever dumb in the first place. The reality is, going back to your example that you used, sometimes you don't know what your point of differentiation is, right? So you can use ChatGPT to define and clarify what's your business framework, what are your processes. In other words, what's your methodology for how you do business so that you can see how you're different than other people. We live in this society that loves, and I do mean loves, to compare and contrast, but then at the same time, they say, don't steal my stuff, right?
right.
Steal my intellectual property, don't do this, but you're constantly teaching people that their power is outside of themselves. And to me, I feel like it just restored power, like in full fairness, because I can tell you the stuff that I've been able to create for my clients. I'm talking about right now, entire website copy, in less than 4 hours. And then they have to sit down now and tweak it to their voice, right? Because I mean, we're not just going to take something from ChatGPT and just throw it on our website or throw it on our social media posts like some people are doing. We need to customize it and personalize. Like I said, nothing can beat the human experience. Nothing. And also, this computer doesn't know the nuance of you. So, what, like, for example, I'm the eldest of four. I come from a military background in terms of being a child. And then I myself was active duty military. Then I worked for an airline company for 20 years. Then I became self employed. I've been self employed now almost 20 years. So I have a breadth of different experiences that make and shape who I am. So when I'm asking questions, I'm not just asking questions as a revenue strategist, I'm
Hmm.
asking questions through the lens of, right? I was married for 30 years, right? So there are questions that I'm asking about communication, right? I'm a mother. I can ask these different questions so that I know, hey, as it relates to what's the best approach for communicating a particular thing. Because I was in customer service, customer relations, and I was an educator, I know what different questions to ask to get the best results because I'm looking at transformation. I don't want somebody working with me just because, oh, I said something sexy and they were like, oh, I want them to do it and then have an experience in their own lives and then come back to me and say, girl, thank you so much for opening a door to the unfolding of my own value, right? My own brilliance, my own, um, superpowers, right? So I just think that's key.
Yes, and I believe that's what's so unique about your program because you provoke us to think in those ways, not only navigating through ChatGTP, but also thinking about our brand, what is our voice, and being comfortable with our voice and who we are and what that looks like and what that sounds like. And
Hmm.
to be able to bring all of those things together without exhausting my bank account,
Yes.
without having, I don't have this fancy coach. I don't have people nowadays, people don't even want to answer questions because they feel like you're going to have one up on them. So to just be able to have a resource like this to express yourself and just put an ideal in there and then all of these different options. So I think that's amazing and why it's so necessary for what your course that you're launching.
Oh, I
So
appreciate that. Hmm.
no, go ahead.
Now, one of the things that I want to piggyback off of something that you said, because I really feel like one of the number one reasons that people don't get what they want is because they don't know what they want. And so, Chat GPT, like anything else, okay, you have to have clear objectives. You have to clearly define the goals and objectives that you want to achieve. And then when you begin to look at it through that lens, like, why am I using this? Am I using this as a customer service tool? Do you know what I'm saying? Am I use so that I can improve customer satisfaction? Because I want people when they come to me to have this unparalleled customer experience. You know what I'm saying? Am I use it? Am I using it so that I can increase sales? Am I using it so that I could attract new customers, right? Am I using it so that I can um, improve, like remember I was talking about customer service, like customer support response times, so that people don't have to wait. Do you know what I mean? Am I like what am I doing and why am I doing it? If you don't know that, it's going to be really hard, right, for you to jump on the bandwagon and propel your brand forward. I also think too that you got to look at how you measure success, because I know what I can tell you is that money is not the only measure, and if money is your only measure, then that's a problem that for another conversation. That's another conversation for another day. Okay.
Yes. So, what are some key considerations for small business owners when implementing Chat GPT to ensure smooth and effective integration into their existing systems and processes?
So, like I was saying a few moments ago, the first thing you want to do is you want to define very clear objectives. The second thing, like I said earlier, you really want to gain a deep understanding of your customers' preferences, their challenges, their struggles, their pain points, the questions that they have that they're scared to ask, because this knowledge is going to support you in training ChatGPT effectively. Because, by the way, and then some of you might be thinking, train ChatGPT. Yes, you have to train it.
Yep.
You have to train it. You have to train it so that it's tailored to your brand, your voice, your tone, your values, your ethics. So, this is why you want to sharpen your mission, your vision, your values, your buyer persona, your buyer journey map, your buyer empathy map, your content strategy, your marketing strategy, your sales strategy, your SOPs, your operational processes and systems, your customer service systems, your human resource systems. How are you going to take the customer interaction and align it with your personality or the personality of your brand in a way that totally represents the uniqueness of you? And then I also think we got to be responsible. Data privacy and security is real. We've got to start having conversations with cybersecurity people so that we can prioritize data privacy and security. Because when people are interacting with your brand, you want to be transparent about data usage. So you see how, like, in companies, how they're saying you can't use chat gpt on the job, and people are mad. They're like, they can't tell me what to do. But what you don't understand is, if you're giving away all the brand secrets, baby, that company is going to go out of business and you're not even going to have a job. So do you understand that it's bigger than that, right? When you type in certain things that are taking place inside of your company and that stuff gets out to the public, then what happens is it becomes a breakdown, depending upon how serious it is, right? A breakdown in communication, and then the culture of the organization can go down. Now, absenteeism goes up, right? Productivity goes down, right? Profits go down. And before you know it, you're going out of business. The other thing I think that we've got to find are seamless integration with existing systems. Like, I know for me to be able to connect, like I was using earlier, like Canva, Thinkific, Kajabi, your CRM systems, your e-commerce platforms, like, to be
Mhm.
able to connect that, and with the help desk to connect all that stuff together, man, that's like a smooth streamline of your workflows.
Yeah.
That's like really powerful. And then the last thing I think too, as small business owners, I don't know about you, even though I've been in business 20 years, in full transparency, I never created an employee manual and or job descriptions to the degree that I have now. Now that I'm on ChatGPT, I literally sat down and created an entire comprehensive training manual, okay, and then created job descriptions for the people that I need to hire, so that then I know, like, I like, that's what I mean. Like, what I need to be clear about, oh, I do need to hire this person. Do you know what I mean? So that everything is not on me and two other people. Do you know? And then the last thing, I think that we got to tell the truth, because human oversight is real. A lot of people, sometimes you don't know, but let's be honest, sometimes you do know, but people are all up in their feelings and they don't know how to handle complex or sensitive issues, and you lose customers because people lack, judgment, they lack empathy. So there's this there's a need, like, for example, and I think I told you this, right? Sometimes you want to say something to somebody, but it's too sharp, it's too harsh. I've typed into ChatGPT, this is what I want to say, right? What's a more professional way of saying this, right? Because I'm not about to, I'm not trying to curse people out, but I'm fully aware that sometime on some days you catch me at the right time, my gangster might be slipping, you know?
Yeah.
We're gonna pray for the people.
Right, because that was one of the next questions about just how can small business owners automate these type of tasks and streamlining their operations for these added value services, these customer service points, things like what you just mentioned, because sometimes it's hard. But if you have a voice of reason, ChatGTP also is your voice of reason, you know?
Oh, baby, listen, so let me tell you something. I worked in reservation. So I worked for an airline for 20 years, but for 13 of those years, I was in reservations. And so what I can tell you is that these chatbots, they reduce the burden of your customer service agents, because what happens is you get repetitive questions, right? A lot of times you get repetitive questions. And so you don't want to be tied up with a whole bunch of repetitive questions. That's something that, the automated system, can use, right?
Mhm.
You want people to come to you when it's something more complex so that you can provide that customized, personalized service, right? I also think too, like, who wants to have their business open 24/7, 365? We need breaks. We're humans, we're not machines,
Right.
right? So ChatGPT operates around the clock, offering continuous support and assistance to your clients. I think that's really, really key. And it also across time zones, because sometimes we forget people aren't necessarily in your city, in your town. These people, the internet is a wide, as a whole wide world type of thing, right? The
Mhm.
other thing is, when you own your own business, you are management. Even if you have two employees, you want to streamline, your order management systems, your, like I said earlier, your order tracking, status updates. You want to provide delivery notifications. You don't want people blowing up your phone. Listen, you told me that you put it on FedEx at such and such time. Like, what time y'all think it's gonna be here? Why do you think that FedEx has tracking? Why do you think that FedEx sends a little message to your phone to say, "Well, it was here and now it's gonna be here." You could track it all the way to your house. Same thing with Amazon, because this reduces manual effort, right? It streamlines the fulfillment process, and it enhances transparency, because now you as a small business, you're saying with efficiency and effectiveness, hey, let me give you the real time update so that you know that we didn't take your money and run, right? And then you
Mhm.
use, like, I love Acuity, but some of you might use Calendly, right? These appointment scheduling and reminders to be able to automate all of your appointments and sync all
Right.
your calendars. Oh my God, when somebody can book an appointment, they can get a confirmation,
Yeah.
and they can get an email reminder automatically. Then now this is not we going back and forth. Well, what day is that day good for you? No, that don't work for me. Okay, let's try this. That manual scheduling stuff is exhausting. And then some people forget to write stuff down, and you sitting there waiting on them. And then you call them and they're like, oh, I forgot all about it. And then the final thing is workflow automation. I think that, we've got to look at what business systems and workflows because we need to be able to automate tasks, especially data entry, filling out forms, basic data analysis, uploading our stuff into like these budgetary softwares. I think it's key. That's just what I think. I think that at the end of the day, your data analysis and insights, it just can't be beat.
Yeah. So, in your experience, what has been some of the most remarkable outcomes or success stories from small business owners who have embraced Chat GTP?
Oh, I love this. So the first one is I was having a conversation with a woman about her business growth strategy. And before, when we were talking before ChatGPT, right, I would do a VIP day and it would be all day and we would be in ideation. Okay, should you do this, this, and this? Baby, I went in ChatGPT. I put in her market. I put in her superpowers, asked it a couple of questions. It popped out 10 things. I turned to her. I said, which one is your pleasure? Right? She picked one. We laid out the strategy for it, literally the marketing strategy, content strategy, pricing strategy, sales strategy, created the instructions for the graphic designer, the web designer, laid out the sales page, and laid out the entire campaign to pull the whole thing together so that we can put it into Asana for her virtual assistant. We did that in 8 hours. Before, that would have taken not just the 8 hours would have been to get the idea together, right? Because you got to do all this research, and then it would have been a month or 2 months or 3 months to do all the other pieces. In less than 8 hours, we pulled all that stuff together, and now what's happening? She's like rocking and rolling, putting all the stuff together, and she can launch faster, right? I said to her, this is what I'm talking about enhance. So on my side, I look at it like enhanced customer satisfaction because I literally was able to get it done faster. Remember, I said people want instant and accurate responses, right? So me being able to do that, I mean, that it just changed the game. The other thing I think also is just literally how do we streamline operations? Basically, having a conversation with the client about all of your SOPs, like just documenting all of that, documenting all your human resource stuff because she's at 50 employees. And I think it's, if I remember correctly, because I'm a little tired now, but I think it's 52 where you have to have the HR department, And she was like, I don't know anything about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay down your HR policy and everything. And then you're going to pay for a consultant with an HR. You know how you have these HR consultants. We're going to lay the whole thing out, you and I, and then you're going to pay this other person to look over to make sure, like the nuance. That's what I mean by the human. So when she took it to the woman, the lady was like, I don't know who helped you do that, but it's amazing. She was like, well, my coach used ChatGPT. And she said, oh my God, I'm going to be out of a job. So it's cost savings. It's like, you're not going to be out of a job. We still came to you. Get focused, right? We
Mhm.
had to come to you because you have the true expertise. We ask questions, right? Because we're hoping that we ask the question in such a way, right, that we can achieve the cost savings that we're looking for. But you're the person with the 30 years of experience. And she was like, oh, and then, she could pop her collar, right, and feel and feel a certain way, but also tailoring the recommendations to be able to say, for example, so like say, for example, you have a lead magnet and what you want to know is where are the gaps in this lead magnet? So between the lead magnet, the free gift, the lead magnet, and the paid product, is there a gap? Or is it smooth? It's clear that the client can see why they need to make the investment, right? Just cleaning those processes up. That has been like really, really helpful for me and working with my people.
And just working with you for my own business, just this anthology project
Mm.
that we're launching. I'm so proud of it, and it taught me a lot about myself as a writer,
Yes.
just in that whole operations workflow process. And I felt good that what I thought in my head should be when I go to chat G, it's like boom, we already got the and it just kind of helped, maybe gave me a little better way to position the wording, but that I was in sync with what was going
Yes.
on, and it built my confidence that I'm going in the right direction, that this is a solid project, that everything is laid out. I know stone is unturned. I can focus on servicing the authors more so than all this administrative stuff. Trying to, actually, my project manager got sick and was down for
Oh,
like 3 weeks. Yeah. And so she was sick, and we had to keep it rolling. So of course she's seeing
exactly.
all the emails going out. She like, girl, you really working. I'm like, yeah, but I got a little help over here. So
You know what that reminds me of? I want to piggyback off of something that you just said, right? So, what people don't know is I was talking about you on my sales page. We were having the conversation about double dutch and how you were going back and you were taking, you were getting involved in double dutch, right? And I started thinking about, how do you like there's this moment like when I was a child, I'm 58 now, but there was this moment when I was a child where you're standing back and you're waiting for the rhythm, right? When do I jump in? Like when is that moment? So I'm standing on the edge of something extraordinary.
Mhm.
When do I jump in and get into the rhythm of it so that I can achieve greatness and be in my flow? And people could be like, look at her, she got it, she got it. Right. So I started thinking about that. And I started thinking about that's the same as ChatGPT. Literally, just like the woman who's studying the person who's trying to pace, like, when do I get in? It's the same way with ChatGPT. When do you jump in? What you don't want to do, okay, is wait another year or 2 years. You don't want to do that. You've got to like start now with getting your foundations strong, practicing asking for what you want, looking at the answers, having conversations with people who are in those fields to see if you're in alignment. Because you said something really important. You said it validated what I already knew. That's facts.
Yeah, yes. So
That's
I'm,
facts. It
I'm
does. Because I read stuff and I'm like, I would have said exactly that. Oh my God.
right, because
But
you
then,
don't even
and it's
realize
like,
what
wow,
you're saying. It's just stuck in your head, and you know what you do naturally, but there's never been a term put to it, or you've never seen it actually laid out because it's all been jumbled up in your head. And so to be
exactly.
able to see something like, and then to work with Kadena, she just has this way of, I always say, she take a rope, throw it to the moon, and pull it to you. You're like, oh, that's what the moon looks like. This thing that's been so far reached that people, we know people go walk on the moon, but like we don't think we're ever going to do it. And so she just has a way to bring things to perspective, that builds up your confidence, that you can walk in your power, and unapologetically. I wouldn't be doing Mind Your Business Monday if it wasn't for this lady right here. I wouldn't be doing half of the stuff because I'm waiting on a perfect opportunity, all this research. I need money to do XYZ. And not this is before Chat GTP. I'm just saying, just the value of working with her as a revenue strategist on top of Chat. Y'all see why I said she a ninja.
Well,
Like,
thank you, Arlita. I want to make you laugh because this lady said, I want to go back to what you just said that this lady tickled me. She said, I told her, I want you to type in, I gave her a prompt, And I said, I want you to type this in, and I want ChatGPT to interview you about your brand philosophy, da da da, right? And I gave her these questions.
Mhm.
So then I want you, so where ChatGPT stops, I want you to say, oh, I need you to ask me this. So then that way you can type your answers in so that it can learn your voice and how you talk, right? So when it started responding, it was like, wonderful job. Oh my God. I love what you're doing with such and such. It was like a little human talking to her, right? So she said, so this is in the last Chat GPT class that I taught. And she said, when I need my when I need to like do this, Chat GPT, literally every time she turned around, it was like, wow, you're doing this. Oh, that's wonderful. And then like further down, it said, because she was talking about all the different jobs that she did.
Mhm.
And the response from ChatGPT blew her mind. The response was, wow, that's a lot. How are you managing all of that? And she says she sat back and burst into tears because she thought this is a lot, right? But it was like in that moment, she said, and then she just typed back, you know, well, this is what I'm doing, but what's a better approach? And it literally listed. And then she was like, how can I streamline operations over here? How can I do this? And, it was, and she was like, what 20 questions am I not asking that I need to be asking to solve this problem? And it gave her the 20 questions. And of course, she's such a gangster. She was like, she put the questions in one at a time so it could answer her questions.
Yeah, yeah.
Said to me, I was reading the answers like, yeah, yeah. And then others, it was like, wow, that's a different perspective I didn't see. So she said to me, the fact that you even had it interview me and your specific interview questions, right? It led it into the full knowledge of me. And I think that's know thyself, right? We want to know ourselves, and then we want to know how we can be in relationship with other people so that we can build stronger businesses.
Yes. So, Kadena, tell us about this course that's coming up. Give me 1 second. Let me move this so we can see everything. All
Oh,
right. Tell us about this course.
so one of the biggest things, like I said, I really want people to recognize that you stand right at the edge, right, of something new and wonderful that can enhance the growth of you and your business. And it's just a tool that you can use. And basically, I'm doing an all-day class because here's the thing, I want to make sure that you get the full value. So
Hmm.
basically, from 9 to 5 Central Standard Time. Of course, we'll take breaks, right? Not a slave driver, but I want you to bring the projects that you're working on. So just like I did that VIP day. So instead of you paying me $7,500, right? You're paying a much smaller amount. I'm not going to say what the amount is because I might change my price, right? By the time you see this video. But what I want you to know is I made it affordable. And you're going to be in a group and you're going to be able to get a lot of stuff done. So I want you to walk in the door with your to-do list, and I want you to walk out of the door with a new to-do list that's more so around execution, right? Because we're going to implementation, execution. We're going to get the hard stuff out of the way. So
All
yeah.
right. So this is unlock your revenue potential with Chat GPT. This is July 10th.
Yeah.
This July 10th, 2023, 9 a.m. to 5 CST, y'all. Okay. So go and register. Go and register. You see it here on the brochure. And then I'm gonna also make sure I'm gonna put it back up so y'all can grab this and go register. You don't want to miss this. I'm telling you, you're talking about some uh invaluable, like you, what you're going to get out of this course, you won't be able to put a dollar amount to it.
Exactly. And I don't want to be arrogant when I say that, but that's facts. And I will say that doesn't come from any place of ego. It comes from a place of, I really want to try to help as many people as possible begin to think more strategically about your business so that you can grow forward, right? Also, let me know that Arletha sent you. You know, don't be shy. Give her credit and say, I came from Arletha Kent from Mind Your Business Mondays. Okay. Got a
Yes,
special gift for you.
yes, it changed my life, guys. And y'all know I'm a straight shooter. I don't foof words. I don't just say things. This lady here has a way with business that will just change the trajectory of your entire life because it's going to free you up. Like that's even my confidence in myself, setting boundaries. My mental health has not been this what it is since 2016. I've been setting boundaries with people, setting boundaries with myself, being able, clarity, brevity, and authority. She
Yeah.
stresses that clarity, brevity, and authority, and being able to make decisions, being decisive. Things like that is what she's talking about. And you can't be around her and plug into what she got going on without that spilling over into who you are, first of all, as a woman and as a business owner, as a wife, as a mother. So, y'all, please plug into her program. You will not be disappointed. Grab this link, share with as many people, share this broadcast with as many people as you can. Don't think that your business isn't significant enough. Don't think that, oh well, my business is not at that point. I'm telling you, she's a revenue strategist. Go ahead, Kadena.
Let me tell you something. I'm so glad that you said that, right? Because one of the biggest success stories, it's not one of my customers, but one of the biggest success stories on the internet was this guy went into ChatGPT. He told it what the role was, what the responsibilities were. He created his business plan. He did the profit plan. He did all these different things. He set up the coding, right, for it, created a t-shirt shop. It's all over the internet, made $400,000 in 1 month, in his first month, drop shipping t-shirts. Nobody has any excuse. So when people say, how did he do that? He knew what he wanted, right? He was crystal clear. This is the job that I need you to do. And he trained it through his questions and prompts because it's a combination of both. Okay, it's not just prompts. Everybody's buying prompts. I'm like, why are y'all buying prompts? Do you know your side? Because if you understand your side of the business, you don't need that. What you need is a new way of thinking about your business so that you can prompt it to do what you need done. So I just want to share that right quick.
Yes. So plug in, plug in, plug in. I'm going to show the flyer one more time just so you guys can know this is going to be juicy. Give me
We're gonna
one.
have fun.
Yes, yes,
Thank you,
yes.
Arlita. Yeah.
July 10th, unlock your revenue potential with Chat GPT. Get registered. So, guys, as you all know, On Point Alliance, we specialize in fingerprinting and background screening and helping others
Yes.
launch their businesses. So, regardless if you're starting out looking for a flexible, self paced, a low cost, you want to be a solution, uh, enroll. If you have a fingerprinting business and struggling with how to scale your fingerprinting business, enroll. Or you may be that trucking company, that home health care agency,
Mhm.
insurance agency that you have to send a lot of your employees to get fingerprinted on a regular basis and you want to save money, time, and resources. I can train and certify someone in house that you never have to send your people out again. So, On Point Alliance, fingerprinting boot camp. Check us out. We also are offering the electronic live scan course. Yes, you can get equipment from us as well. We offer funding options. So if you need a little help and you want to, you don't necessarily have the funds to invest in the equipment, you can check out our funding options. So reach out to us at onpointalliance.com. You can scan the barcode and get in touch with one of us. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Also, guys, as you guys know, I've been bragging about this anthology project. So, yes, it's going to be, we're having our gala. We're going to do our official launch and celebrating these amazing authors. September 2nd at 3 p.m. The link to purchase tickets or support through sponsorships is in that link. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. We would love to see you there. I mean, we talking red carpet, straight up, your glad rags. Bring your good stuff, okay? Because I know I'm gonna be fly. This
I
is a
love it.
moment.
Yes.
What'd
Yeah,
you say?
I love it. No, I love it.
Yes, yes, yes. So, I mean, we're gonna have live entertainment. We have Travis. A lot of you guys don't know Travis actually has a beautiful voice. Those from St. Louis know he's do concerts of all the time. So he's coming out of retirement at this gala. Woo! We have a praise dancer. We have some phenomenal keynote speakers. We're going to be sharing that information. I don't want to say her name wrong, but a licensed therapist that's going to come and just share. Our book is talking about overcoming, and we're on target for production. So hopefully this week we'll be able to show you guys a book cover and go through all of the official boom, here we go. But yes, you don't want to miss it. So again, click the link to plug in to support the gala and to support your specific author. A lot of you guys know some of these authors. So let me know if you have any questions. That's all I have for today. Kadena, thank you so much for taking the time to come and
Thank you.
share with us these next shoot. Can y'all imagine what the course gonna be like if this is what a conversation was like? Real talk.
Thank you.
As she say, boots to the ground, come ready, come ready. Look and leave you because you probably gonna have moments, emotional moments.
Yeah.
Just bring your little tissue, be ready to release and keep it moving. Keep it moving. All right. So, guys, thank you. Until next week, remember to mind your business. Be productive. You got this. I believe in you. I believe that everything God has shown you, you're gonna do it. You
Yes, indeed.
you're gonna do it. Stay focused, set boundaries, and no is a complete answer. All right. So go on. You guys enjoy the rest of your week. And until next time, see you later. Hmm?